Hi guys, I just found out that a book that I was obsessed with as a kid was turned into a movie, and the library has it, but it's out for repair. I was obsessed with this book. It was called Wait Till Helen Comes, and I know I've discussed this in the past, but we used to have book fairs at my elementary school, and they would wheel in huge metal cases full of bookshelves, and they were packed with books. They were, the fancy scholastic books. They were all fresh and exciting. And I remember the cover to this one it was like a bluish cover, and there was a girl hiding behind a tree. She was a little older, kind of like the Babysitter's Club type age. And there was a younger girl facing a ghost girl. And it was the spookiest shit I had seen. I wanted the book. I don't remember if I bought the book or because your parents would bring you, or if I asked my parents and they said, we'll buy it for you, but we're not sure that you're old enough to read it yet. I remember getting this book, and it made the rounds of my older cousins. 2 of my cousins read it first, then they passed it on to a different cousin, and she read it. All 3 of these were older than me. I was the next in line. I was the 4th oldest on that side of the family. It was written by Mary Downing Hahn, and she also wrote another book that I didn't love as much. It was called like The Doll in the Garden, or something about a doll in a garden, and I never really liked that one as much. It was interesting. There were children who they found a portal into the past, and there was a girl that they befriended who was dying of tuberculosis, and I don't know, it wasn't as intriguing. But this story about Wait Till Helen Comes, it was so good. It was so good. And when I finally read it, I was obsessed with it, and I read it a lot. I mean, I don't usually read my books to tatters. I'm very careful with them. And I think part of it is having gone through a whole cycle of my cousins before it even came to me. They're not as careful. So that book, if I can find it in storage, it's seen better days. But basically, the premise was there were 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and they were older. I think the oldest girl was like a preteen, like 12, maybe 11, and then her younger brother was 9, 10, something like that. And their mother was divorced, and she married a guy who had a child, and he was widowed. The child was this just surly little brat who basically hated everyone in the family except, she loved her dad and hated the interlopers, so the mom and the 2 kids. So this family was trying to coexist, and the little girl was making it very difficult for everyone, and her name was Rhonda? No. Her name, I don't remember what her name was. The only one I remember is Helen, because that was from the title. Helen is the ghost girl. So Helen befriends this child, and the other 2, the step-siblings, figure out that it's a ghost that their little bratty stepsister is hanging out with. There is a parallel between the 2 of them because Helen's parents died horribly in a fire, and she herself drowned. And Rhoda, I keep calling her Rhoda, I don't know if it's right. And Rhoda, her mother died in a fire. So we find out, major spoiler, she is the one who caused the fire that killed her mother. So she's been feeling all these terrible emotions because she is to blame. Even though she was a little kid at the time, she feels responsible for her mother's death. Heather. Heather is the little girl. So Heather is hanging out with a ghost child. Molly and Michael have to try and save her, and it's pretty difficult because she's such a little brat. And yeah, Heather had killed her mother on accident. She befriends Helen, who wants to basically kill Heather by drowning her and being eternal friends or something like that. And that book is so good. So good. I might have to check it out at the library if I can't find it. I know that I have it, so it's either at my parents' house or it's somewhere in a box, which could be anywhere. So if you've read it, let me know. If you remember book fairs, tell me about it. I also remember where we would get like I don't think it was necessarily monthly, it might have been quarterly, something like that, but in school we'd get these scholastic book magazines and you would take them home and look through the catalog and pick all the things that you wanted, and then your parents would have to send you back with your like little checklist and an actual check that the teacher would then collect by a certain date. They would get mailed out as a group, and then you would wait for what felt like a really, really long time, which was probably only a few weeks to a month. And then all the books would come in and the teacher would distribute your order. It was just, I loved that. And my parents were so good. They got me, I mean, I had a limit. I think I had like, I don't know if it was a monetary limit or a number of books limit, but I always got a couple things from everything. My parents were always really good about letting me have books. They were always really good about taking me to the library. Yep, that was it. I really want to see the movie now. I really want to reread the book now. Have a spooky day.